Welcome back to Arts Back. I'm your host, Hildy Lynn Helfenstein, or as some may know me on the internet, Jerry Gagosian. We have a special guest here today, who I'll get to momentarily. But I would like to, first of all, welcome you to my new set for the podcast, aka my living room. I decided that at times I may need to do therapy, so I may need to lay down because what's going on in the art world is so stressful.
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
world.
and
And
the
the world.
world. Yeah, that too. I forget about the world. And also, I wanted to remind everyone that the pod has migrated to Patreon, where one must pay $6 in support of all the work that I do and research I do and all the yapping that I do. So please go to Patreon. I will keep putting snippets of this on Instagram, TikTok. Our guest here today, who I'm about to introduce, is bringing me into the life of a Gen Zer. And yeah, it'll be teased everywhere. But if you want the full episode, you do have to go to Patreon. I hope you understand. The $6 means a lot to me. The girls got to eat. Anyway, I finally, after such a long time, I finally have found my Zoe or my Chloe to come on the podcast. And that is my intern, the beautiful, unlike anyone else, very famous on TikTok, Oona.
An introduction like that coming from you is an amazing thing. No one else like me. No one else.
You're very special. You're the only, I don't want to get too saccharine here, but you're the only funny, younger art world influencer, I think.
Thank you. That means a lot. A lot of people are old and maybe funny, probably not funny, or young and also still not
Do
funny.
you think that Gen Zers, and millennials, do you think there's a conflict in our humor or is there overlap?
My generation takes things so unseriously. Like it's a byproduct of social media, COVID, the age in which we grew up in. It's just people take things really unseriously, which in in a way is really funny because things shouldn't be that serious. And you can always find humor probably in the bleakest of moments. I wouldn't say I'm not in a war-torn
I
country.
would hope so.
Yeah,
No, I would hope so. I would hope so even if I was in a war-torn country. I would fucking hope I would still find something to laugh about.
hopefully. And hopefully we never see that day.
Yeah, but oh, look at Una, she has a peg leg now. Like, you see the way she wobbles? It's cute. And then we laugh. We
I would let you laugh at my peg leg. I would let you laugh.
What do you think about this current trend of crashing out? Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? Can you first of all explain to my older audience, because my audience is still does teeter heavier on the millennial side. I just learned what crashing out is, and now I see it everywhere.
Yeah. Crashing out to me has always been it's almost an immense sense of dread. And then the emotions that result are from this like feeling of like, when you get called into the principal's office as a kid and
Mhm.
you're going to call your parents and you're like, holy moly, I'm going to be in so much trouble. My world is ending. And you start sobbing in the principal's office uncontrollably, like a little mini child, like panic
Yeah.
attack. Like crashing out is like that. It's
I've been seeing like people my age and older crashing out. I really do think it's a byproduct of the times. I was trying to explain to somebody who's even
yeah,
older than us the other day because people are like, "What? Why don't you go back to making memes, go back to making jokes." I'm like, actually, I'm going to say something controversial here, but I think that Elon Musk was right when he got up and he was probably high on ketamine when he said this, but when he was like, "I am meme." And that's why, like, I post, like, my quote unquote lifestyle content and which I clearly take seriously, but unseriously.
like,
I've never crashed out because I can't get myself to be alone and scream about like my coffee or whatever
really.
crash out about.
Well, it's also like people feel so comfortable doing and saying anything on the internet. I don't doubt that people have been crashing out since people were Egyptians. Since the dawn of time, people have probably dealt with. I
I
mean,
crash out in private, but not
yeah,
with a fucking computer. I mean, I do or computer phone. I like crash out in my car constantly because of traffic.
yeah, that's good. It's good to do it in private. I think people are too comfortable sharing things, and as a product of the digital age that we live in, because people feel so comfortable sharing things, you won't catch me dead crashing out on the internet. I will never
Yeah.
cry. I will never scream. I will
I
never.
did cry once. I had this like twice. I've cried twice, and there are people that remember it. And my assistant at the time took the first cry video down because I was purposely trying to destroy my Instagram account. So I thought if I put myself crying, then yeah, then it'll ruin it and everyone
Yeah.
will like the mystery of Jerry Gagosian would be like destroyed.
Mhm.
But then the internet has a short memory. That
Thank
didn't
God.
that didn't work, thank God. And then the second time, it was because I'd been holding in all these lies and I about, like, where I'd been and what I'd been up to, and I hadn't really I don't know, oddly, I don't know if you feel what your because you have a lot of followers on TikTok. Do you
Mhm.
feel like your audience cares about you yet, or do you feel like they're just there?
That's an amazing question. I've always described myself as the Nardwuar of the art world, but with boobs. Someone who's educated, but there's humor. It's not that serious. And then, of course, I do have boobs as a woman. And so it's
Yeah.
like you're trying to get people to find interest in you, but also the subject matter that you're talking about. And I don't feel like I've necessarily achieved, I've definitely talked about anecdotes from like periods of my life that I think are interesting, that I think people really resonated with. But it's
Mhm.
all not really about me. But I think trying to throw in a mix of humor, unique aspects of your life that made you interesting is important for sure.
I have 150,000 followers. Let's say out of those 150,000 followers, I would say that I have a core following of like 15 to 20,000 people. And then out of those people, I would say there are about 5,000 who are so deeply invested in my well being and my life.
Right.
And I feel like love for them. And I feel love for my audience because I have people who gone through the pandemic with me, gone through so many phases of my life. Like 8 years is a long time. I've changed so much. I literally people this is how short everyone's memory is. I literally lost 79 pounds in front of everybody. Got got sober. People have to just watch this whole thing unfold like a reality show. But not everybody has watched like every inch of it. I know that certain people really care and I can even through the phone, I can oddly feel like their love. I know this sounds so mental
I would say of maybe 5 or 10 people who consistently comment.
because I have those people that are like they've been there since the start. And like I have in particular, I call this one person, I can never reveal who they are,
And
but I call them you're gonna meet this person actually. I call them Jerry Gagosian's like BFF.
okay.
And it's this person who for 8 years straight started talking through DMs. And then we were like, it's not safe for us to talk on DMs because whatever.
Okay.
The WhatsApp, pu- our conversation for 8 years straight 100% about art. It has never deviated, even in times when I have tried to like maybe initiate, oh, I'm going through something. Or this person is so only hyper focused on art and they're like a mega collector. They have a great art collection. Let's
Do you
say,
know real name and what they look like?
oh, yeah, I've met this person in person probably 4 times,
Oh,
but
wow.
we have been talking every day throughout the day, all day about art for 8 years.
Well,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Like,
And
that's
there's
one of the many I don't have people that are that is Jerry's absolute best friend.
yeah.
No one can top that one. And then I have, like, tiers of people.
Yeah. But since Jerry is an extension of you, do you consider that person to be your best friend?
I was thinking about that today. Literally, I was just walking to the table, putting shit in my bag. And for some reason, that thought came in my head because, I'm living in Miami right now. I don't really have friends here, or because not because I don't want friends, but because I'm like in therapy right now. I'm doing all these things to like better myself, which means I have to really focus on myself. I like no dating, nothing. It's just all about Hildy because I'm trying to start my new life. My best friends are all people who like are living their fucking lives. Like they have kids. My best friend Charles has been like traveling the world for I don't know how many years. Like he doesn't just sit in one place. Where I grew up, they're trying to turn it into a really cute city and they are doing it.
Yeah,
I try not to say where it is because I don't want like creepers coming around. But they're like everything is here that you could want.
yeah.
And it's becoming walkable, which is like a big deal in Florida because Florida has been a driving plate cut state for so long. But like the only place that I ever meet people like anywhere close to my age is at Pilates. Even when I go to tennis, it's all like old ladies. I like tried to get coffee with one the other day and I felt like maybe she thought I was asking her on a date.
Maybe, but have you dabbled in lesbianism? The way that
Yeah.
how to
Oh yeah, for sure. For
yeah,
sure. And I'm not afraid of that,
yeah,
but
not
it was
afraid.
it was actually just because I want a friend. Like, I don't
Yes,
have to fuck everyone. I
that's
just wanna
fair enough. But and if you did, I would support it regardless.
thank you. Thank you for supporting my sexual identity. Yeah.
Always.
I'm one of those people, I've never felt the need. I think this is like a difference in time and also just maybe because my parents taught me to always be comfortable with myself and my sexuality. I've never felt the need to wave a flag. You know what I'm saying? I'm not closeted about the fact that I've been with men and women. Well, some people really need to let everyone that they meet know, like,
Totally.
who they fuck, and I think that's weird.
It's just it's not it should just be about the genuine love for someone, not about
Who
the
do you fuck?
it's I haven't had sex. I haven't had sex yet. I'm saving myself for marriage.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. I
Oh my
know.
god. We have to protect you in Paris.
Yeah, protects me in Paris. All those
Wait,
dirty
you're
French
25 and you've never had
24,
sex?
I'm 24, never had sex. I know. It's
You're
crazy.
Are you a femcel? Is that what it's called?
No, I've just never met anyone who I liked enough to have
Yeah,
sex.
I guess because of the pandemic and stuff, you were, like, locked away in that age when you're supposed to be messing around.
Yeah, I was locked away and then just nobody is still appealed. And so we'll take it day by day. I take it day by day. I look around, I suss things out. I take it day by day. So
Have you dated?
yeah, I've been in a few relationships. They've all been okay with it. If they've just enjoyed my company and my good humor.
I love you. Oh my god.
Yeah,
We must protect Una at all
protects
costs.
me, protects me. I need to
Okay.
protect myself.
Una is coming with me to Paris,
Yes.
so you guys
Very,
know.
very
It's gonna be like a buddy cop movie. Me I just rewatched the Bad Boys movie, which I think they hold up, honestly. They're pretty good with Will Smith and Martin.
amazing film.
Yeah, it's very good. Maybe we are the next Bad Boys.
I fully support it. I just think with us, there's no stone will be left unturned. Let's just put it that way.
And I really like I just like your sense of humor. I'll say that again and then move on. And I like the age difference, honestly, because I do think that there is this it's a micro shift, but there's still like boomers and Gen Xers that are really involved with making the decisions for the world. But
Totally.
then I feel like culture right now, real culture, the one that drives commerce is not necessarily the millennials or the Gen Xers. I would
Yeah.
say it's for sure Gen Z and soon to be Gen Alpha. So I'm appreciative of all of my younger friends' perspectives because
Yeah.
I feel like it's a blind spot for me.
Yeah. It's one of those things of like you talk like I talk to my mom, I talk to people older than my mom. Everyone just has a it sounds so simple, but a very different perspective on like how things work. Like I remember the other day my mom was like, "What kind of headphones are you using? I need to get new headphones." I was like, "You just use the string headphones that come with my phone." And she's like, "That's cool. That's really cool." And I
Also,
was
they're easier to not lose, and they're like
like,
$18.
just functionality, but now she's turned it into her whole mind. She's this is what the cool kids are doing, which by the way, I'm not cool, so you don't want to listen to me as to what the cool kids are doing.
I tell you something that I'm allergic to that has come out of, I think, TikTok culture.
The word cool.
Oh, no, that's from no, I think that's from the '50s. I think cool's been around since, like, the boomers, and I don't think it's going anywhere, honestly. I remember one time somebody said something really rude to me. I was super young. I was, like, younger than you, and I was at this party, and I was like, "Wow, everyone here is so cool." I was talking to my friend at the time's boyfriend, and I said, "Do you think I'm cool?" And
Mhm.
he looked me deadpan in the face, and he said, "People don't call themselves cool." And I was like, "Ew, okay, fuck off."
But there are plenty of people who think that they're really cool who would never ask that question who aren't. And it's also like the people who think that they're cool who would never ask that question are just like not cool people objectively.
I think that, like, the idea that being cool means being rude or mean or
Like
dismissive of others is an antiquated version of cool. Like,
100%.
I actually do embrace the cringe. I think the cringe is I know you can tell me in a second your opinion on Gen Z. You're like the ambassador, but I don't at this point, like, our all of our asses are hanging out. If you're on social media,
Literally.
like, if you're, like, engaging in any online media or content, like, your ass is fucking hanging out and somebody's collecting your data, period. That's why I cringe doesn't bother me because 'cause I'm
Cringe
like,
shouldn't
whatever.
being I think the biggest thing is it's about just being yourself. And I think the people who I know, like the New York whatever you wanna call it, social scene of people who, like the ones that are mean, that are not very kind, that think really highly of themselves aren't cool because they're not being themselves. If you're gonna judge others and you're not gonna be kind, it's because of something to do with yourself. It's like insecurity, a lack of authentic your personality and what you enjoy. And like, I was such a weird kid. Like, I never had the option to not be myself because growing up with a single mom and my dad living in London and going to this like Mandarin bilingual immersion school where I was the only white kid there, growing up speaking Mandarin and then going to Bronx Science for high school, that like it was never an option to not be myself because I didn't hang around those sort of people who put and pass that judgment on me. It was all a world of just like very weird people. And so it was never not an option to be myself. And I never felt like I was inauthentic. And like I went through really brutal stages. All of the different ages of life were hard and challenging in different ways, but I never felt I wasn't myself at any
It's
moment.
so funny today in therapy because I just found this, like, amazing therapist. Therapist was like, "We're gonna" she's work because she is a hypnotherapist. She's
Right.
like, "We're gonna get you back to being happy and blah, blah, blah." And I looked at her and I said, "I'm gonna stop you right there." I said, "I don't know if I've ever been, like, a happy person. I'm not bothered. Everything irritates me a little bit." I think that's what makes me an artist is here's the quote unquote objective reality right here.
Mhm.
Just for people listening, I've got my hand like spaced out. I would say that like mine leans like just a little outside it, like maybe by 3 inches or something. So
Yeah.
that I'm aware of what people think objective reality is, but I disagree with it and I think it should be a different way. hence like the impetus to create and
Totally.
do things.
Of course, if you're super happy, it becomes a thing of live on a farm and grow wheat and have cows. If you're really like ambition, I think is why someone ambition and not being happy to me go hand in hand. If you're a really happy person, truthfully, you're not going to be super ambitious because you're content with the way your life is. Growing up with an artist parent, and artists are very egotistical people who are never happy, even when they achieve the thing that they've wanted for the last 5 years, they get it. It's never enough. And so like ambition has been woven into childhood and growing up with those sort of people in my life. Not being fully happy, I think, is a byproduct of ambition because you can't have both of them in tangent. It just doesn't work.
Do you
Tris-
think that Taylor Swift must be like a miserable person then?
I think she's a look at who she's engaged to. That's such a weird pairing to me.
I have heard
Oh, tell
I
me.
have heard
Is-
from a very reliable source, one
Okay.
who has directly interacted, that she's basically like a little like in their relationship, she's like the butch one
Okay.
and he's the he's like the wife more and because she's the billionaire. She's
Right.
the one with all the money. And I've heard that it's very likely not real, but it's, like, real enough. I don't know if I buy it, and I like Taylor Swift, actually, and I think Travis is a dumb sweetheart too.
Yeah.
Mm, but I don't know if I believe it's, like, fully real.
Maybe that's what life is though, like, you just get happy enough, like, you try to get as close to it as you think that you can, and she's I'm happy enough, so that's something she's content with. I can't say I don't know, but
Yeah, maybe she's just exhausted and she doesn't want the extra mental stimulation, so she wants, like, a brain dead football player who's had tons of head injuries, who's like a big cuddly bear who she can just lop down on and eat pizza with.
yeah, she can lie on him. It's hard to be alone, like, definitely being content with being alone. Do you feel like it's hard to be alone?
I was a wee person at one point.
A weed? Weed.
We, not
We. Oh, we.
like those people that are like, and then we went to London. And then after we went to London, we took an airplane to, I don't know, Italy. And then when we were in Italy, we really enjoyed the food. It wasn't intentional, but it was just true. I was fully like with someone. It's not we anymore. It's I do that I can do anything I want and never feel judged. Also, that freedom for a person like me can be like, because I'm privately like, yeah, like somebody the other day rudely called me unstable, like in public, and that not to my
In public?
yeah, not to my face, to someone else. The word got back to me about it, and I was, like, offended by it, but the more I think about it, I'm like, first of all, who the fuck is stable in 2025?
But is stable. Like, to your point, you wake up every morning, you put on clothes, you work, you go to the gym. Like, that to me, on surface level, is a very stable person. Stability means different things to different people.
Are you stable?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I don't even use that word because I think if you like look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you're unstable, you don't let yourself feel emotions and sit with things. And it's important to just be kind to yourself and let yourself feel things. And if you're going through an unstable time or you are in fact unstable, sit with it. I hate that word. I would never use that word to describe myself or anyone. The world is moving. The world is moving as we speak, literally. The earth is,
Yeah. You know what's crazy while we're talking right now, because it's hurricane season in Florida,
yeah.
there's the most insane lightning. I love it because it's so moody and I'm a very dramatic person. There's this really crazy thunderstorm and rainstorm happening like right now, right
Totally.
there. Yeah, my glass door is like right there. And I'm just like loving this conversation and the fact I don't even know how far in we are and we have not brought up like the art world yet once.
That's how it's good though. Yeah.
Do I like to be alone? I don't know. No, not really. I definitely would prefer that my situation were different because I think the silence is a bit deafening.
When was like the happiest period of your life? Childhood doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. No, my childhood wasn't that happy either. I really loved the pandemic. I loved the pandemic because that's when I, like, really got into fitness and lost all that weight, and I was sober, and I was, like, in AA, and I was working, like, the 12-step program, and, like, I would go outside and run walk with
Mm,
my headphones until my phone died, and then I would, like, walk home.
yeah.
I lived in, like, Hancock Park, which is, like, such a cool place, and then I moved to the Hollywood Hills, and I think I looked really good, and I felt, like, this sense of achievement, and I was really, like, proud of myself, and art is this thing that exists in my life that is my primary love, focus, rumination, obsession. It's the first thing I think about in the morning. It's the last thing I think about before bed. Uh,
Why do
I'm
you think that is?
It's a fucking brain disease. No, I don't know. I don't know. I think like I said, I think it is some people are born and I'm a manifester too. So like I don't like things and I am able to manifest change
Yeah,
in
of course.
in the areas that I think can focus on or work with. Obsessed with beauty and I'm obsessed with quality and I'm obsessed with good taste and I like not I feel like not enough people in the real world care about it. Like I'm looking out at the other balconies in my courtyard. It's kind of like Melrose Place where I live, but it's a high rise.
Mm.
And like literally like somebody has like my balcony is like gorgeous and full of plants and tables and pots and whatever strategically placed. I look at other people okay, you have a Harley Davidson flag with an ugly bicycle.
Yeah,
Somebody
but
has,
don't you
like
think that the version of beauty to those people, like the people who like Harley Davidson, and that's like their version of beauty.
yeah, it
They
is.
might not like your balcony.
How could you not like my golf? I'm so judgmental. I think there are certain things that are beautiful, and then I think there's certain things that are not. I think yachts are sexy. Like, I could get off on wearing the brand of, like, yacht that I own, but, like, Harley Davidson? No. Or like people that string Christmas lights, AKA my neighbors. And I'm not talking about precious little white lights. I'm talking about those fat bulbs that are like orange, red, yellow, green.
I love those.
I
I hate
can't.
to say it.
I can't. I would love to take a BB gun and just shoot out like each bulb. I can't stand them.
Pew pew.
I want to like rebel against all these people with bad taste and just blast them with worse taste and just do like hot pink, like at night, like neon hot pink.
When is the last time you did like New York Art Week?
Last year,
Last year. And what did you think of it last year?
I think that so the company that the umbrella company that owns Freeze,
Right?
Hot Armory,
Yes.
and I think that was more so like when companies are competing, so like Freeze and Basel are competing, it's like Coke and Pepsi duopoly right now, right? Like it's two brands competing.
Yeah.
What they'll do is buy up other like they also bought Chicago Expo. Art Basel is expanding to Doha. I, I think that it was more of a territorial grab than
Mhm.
like an interest in preserving like the fair itself. I don't think that fair is gonna stay open for much longer. I
Which one?
Armory,
Yeah.
because they already have Freeze New York. So I think they're gonna probably merge it. And I think they're probably also testing right now, like the, the Javits Center versus having it at the Shed. Like, where does everyone make more money and
Mhm.
what's more profitable for the fair itself? I don't think that Armory is particularly like glamorous as it is right now. I had a really glamorous summer in New York, and that was really nice. And I love it when it's like hot and gross in New York. It doesn't bother me at all. And I had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of friends. I went to a bunch of parties. I whatever. I didn't feel that need to like also go back to New York again and see the same people I just saw
Mhm.
5 minutes ago.
Of
And
course.
and I just don't think that is I do still think that there should be glamour in the art world,
Mhm.
and that is not a glamorous fair. What did you think?
I didn't even go to the Armory this year. I only went to the Independent and I went to the U-Haul Arts Fair.
What was your take on Independent? I like the content you made. I'm gonna post it.
I That was how we got connected, was through that video. So I everyone, to your point, you brought up something really funny when we were texting about it. You were like, you hadn't even gone to the fair. I don't even know if you looked up like which galleries were showing which artists, but you text me. I can even pull it up, but you text me something along the lines of every gallery is representing a dead artist that they're trying to bring back into mainstream. The first booth when you walk in is this gallery I couldn't even remember, who's like trying to revive this like dead artist that I never heard of, who just was basically like not very good, but they were so passionate about like the artist, like their history, the way that they created the piece, like the technique that went behind it. And just the art wasn't very good. They're trying to make the art good through an admirable cause is still bad art.
Yeah,
It just
100%.
means there's maybe more of a cause you can get behind. And personally, I think art should just be about the art. It shouldn't be about the background
I
of,
have
and that might be a
yeah,
real hot take, but that's something that I've always thought since I was a kid, honestly.
don't care. I don't want the sob story and I don't want the art speak. I want the art to speak for itself. If
I
there's a
agree.
specific context that I need in order to understand something, give me the very basic facts and then leave me the fuck alone and let me decide. I love outsider art. I just want to like state that for the record. I collect it from everywhere from like Goodwill. There is an outsider art fair, which I think is ridiculous that people separate it. But I went to a show at David's Warner. This is years ago. I don't remember the name of the artist. It doesn't matter. And they were like, yeah, this guy, he was special and he just lived on this farm and made all these objects his whole life while everybody else had to like go out and work on the farm, but he couldn't. And I was just like, yeah, I love it. Like, I love childlike drawings. I like people. This is why I like Robert Nava's paintings. I like I like people who are so honest and truthful and loose with their hands that they can sort of authentically produce something. I also love like academically traditional. Like I love like Jesse Mockrin paintings, but I like the child's hand too. And I like adults who like never lose that, which makes me love outsider art made by special people. Because it's David's Werner, and they're telling me about this artist, and I was like, "This is a fucking cool outsider artist," and they were like, "It's not an outsider artist," and I'm like, "It, yeah, it is." Like I was like, I like felt this need to push back on it, and then I was like, "Wait, why would I even argue with these people as if they fucking care about my opinion?" I was like, "Okay, it's not an outsider artist." Like even though 100%. Like that's what it was, but I think because they wanted to command the prices of like a fine artist and because the artist was dead and that means there is a limited quantity and scarcity that then they can raise the price. These people like wouldn't spend $80,000 on an outsider. I don't know why they
Do you think that people just consider outsider art to be like a little bit less serious, a little bit more done by simpler people,
yes.
less technique, and there's just like less people just take it less seriously?
which is, like, crazy because it's also just not true. I've seen art made by severely handicapped people, and it's, like, cool. Like, it makes it to me, it makes it better.
Yeah. Do you like Chuck Close? Did you like Chuck Close?
I know too many gross stories about him. Like, he just jerked off in front of my friend one time, and she, like, unasked for, she said she started laughing because she was really confused by it. So it's hard for me to like him. Appreciate the fact that he had, like, face blindness and that he created those amazing images. Yes, I like that. It's like a Roman Polanski or, like, any of these people, they've done disgusting things, but then Woody Allen, like, I love his movies,
Yeah.
and it's very hard for me to be like, "Oh, yeah, he married, like, his adopted daughter." That's weird and gross.
Yeah.
Then I also just would expect nothing less from him given what I know about his movies, like,
People can be terrible and people can do horrible things, and there's no reason to, like, some people definitely deserve to be canceled and thrown out of the good
who do
graces of.
you believe that's been canceled? Like, I don't believe in cancellation permanently. Do you believe
Yeah.
in permanent cancellation?
There's nothing you really can do besides, like, maybe kill a child that I think would be hard to come back from.
Yeah. Yes, or, like, behead a dog in public for no reason or something like that. Kanye West and all his, like, swastikas, like, I think it's all I think it's all an act. I think it's, like, performance. I think he's trying to make a point. Do I I have family members who survived the Holocaust. So, am I sensitive to swastikas? Yeah, I am. Like, literally,
That's a fair thing to say.
the Nazis wiped out, like, a large side of my family. Only 2 people survived. Yeah, we're sensitive in my family to that, but, like, also, am I interested in the fact that things became so woke that it slipped over into this world of, like, massive censorship? That's also real. I had to stop being a certain level of funny because I just was like, if I say anything, there was
Yeah.
a time when I just didn't post because I was like, if I say anything right now, the world is so sensitive. Somehow it will get turned into something where I'm harming some kind of my unseen minority out there that I'm not even aware of.
Have you ever almost been canceled?
Yeah, one time I
Okay.
was somebody someone okay. So I was watching, like, a Sotheby's auction live, and I was Instagram living it, and the auctioneer said he'll say, like, the bid is with someone, like, that they're holding something, like, for their client, so he'll say, "The bid is with you, Oona, the bid is
Yeah.
with Hildy," and at one point he said I heard it, he said, "The bid is with you, ash can." And I didn't hear it as, like, Oshkosh, like a name. I heard ash can,
Okay.
like a can of ashes. That's how I heard it.
Yeah.
Well, I very flippantly said, "Who would ever name their child ash can?" And then I moved on. That's it. Oh my god. Like, there's an article about it. You can, like, Google it.
Really?
Oh, everyone a bunch of people at Sotheby's Middle East went after me. That's a precious Syrian name, and it's so racist of you. You're a Karen for mocking, a person just for their name, blah, blah, and I was like I tried to reach out to them privately, to all of them, to say, "I'm sorry, I misheard. It was an Instagram live. I'm not a perfect person. I misheard, and I apologize." And then I was told the apology isn't real unless you apologize in public. So I had to go on my Instagram stories and say, "I'm really sorry that I misheard and offended somebody. And it was like, it was so performative.
Mhm.
And I can admit that now, but I was forced to do it. All the Sotheby's Middle East people, of
Mm.
who one of this person, it was incredibly wild and unprofessional of them that they like beehived against me. And when I took the time to apologize, like actually apologize, they they would not accept the apology, and they only wanted it if it was in public, which I
Really?
thought very strange.
That's
Because if
strange. That's
somebody
not how
were
an apology works.
yeah, if somebody were to, like, hurt me, oh my god, all the things I have been called this week, I'm not calling for a fucking I told you all the, like, hate I've been getting lately.
Yeah.
I'm not calling for a public apology because somebody fat shamed me.
I worked there for my first year out of college.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the bids department. So we basically put on all of the auctions. We did like client management. It was a really intense job. I probably made $12 an hour, and they don't give you any benefits like health insurance, a 401k, because they say that you're contractual.
Mm.
So how they get away with that is because you're on a contract, you don't get any benefits. And everyone I was working with, like the other 8 people I worked with, were all recent college graduates who really loved art, who either came from a position where they didn't need to think about
Actually
money,
get money, yeah.
which like, but that's what Sotheby's wants. It doesn't want an inclusive workforce.
The whole art world is not a meritocracy. It
Yeah,
doesn't run that way. It runs on nepotism and favoritism.
it was a really intense job, and I loved working with art, and I found it really exciting. But the people I worked for and the way that they mistreat people is just so strange. Felt it at every aspect, to like the security guards that worked there, the art handlers, like you felt the strange, almost classist. I wouldn't even say almost classist, like
Or it's
energy.
like a caste system.
Yeah, it was very strange. And I mean, because growing up in an artist community, I never was like on that end of it, the business end of it. I was always
Yeah.
on the creative end of it. And so then first job out of college, being in that environment, it was like seeing the world for the first time. I was like, "Oh, this is how it really works," because I hadn't put it together up until graduating college, which is maybe a little slower than most.
I think you and I probably have a similar path in that sense. Because I remember when the veil was, like, ripped from my eyes when I was like, "Oh my god, everyone I went to art school with is so rich, and I'm about to have to work, like, 5 jobs at one time to, like, even just live in New York," you know? Um, and then I even realized when I was trying to get jobs, people were essentially trying to pry to understand, like, who my father might be or what my social background would be, because that would, quote, unquote, "make me a more viable applicant than, do you work really hard? Do you love art? Are you passionate? Are you whatever?" And definitely got passed up. I remember being laughed at on the phone one time when I called this one place, I'm not gonna say where it was, to see if they were hiring. And because
You just cold called?
we used to do that back in the day, because
Very
I
nice.
keep in mind I graduated in 2012, so, like, 13 years ago. Yeah, it was, like, okay to just call and be like, "Are you guys looking for interns? Are you hiring? Blah, blah, blah." But I remember getting laughed at because they were like, I mean, they're like, "Who are you?" And
Yeah.
then, like, I was like, "I don't know, Hildy?"
I don't know
Whatever.
myself.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely, like, fuck meritocracy or even talent to some degree. It's really not about that. But this is where I hope I've been a positive impact, and I actually hope things change, because I try to, by lifting the veil on my Instagram and the things I talk about, I try to show people what it is so that then you can sort through the trash and build the art world that you want to exist in as a and I think it's really up to every artist, every dealer, whatever. If you don't like something, it's your job to figure out how to change it. No
100%.
one's going to do it for you because it's working for them as it is. Why would they change it? You have to figure out how to do it. And that's where the real work, the real manifesting, the real like self evaluation, pushing yourself. Like, I never thought I would go to business school. Never thought that. But then I realized, oh, I need to go to business school if I want to serve art even better. I would have never done it otherwise. Why? More school spending $200,000 on a fucking degree from NYU. But I don't know. I felt, oh, I really need to do this because at this stage, the art world feels like it needs a change. It needs a reset. And it's a very conservative place. I say this all the time. It doesn't change quickly. It's very change averse.
Do you think it's possible to change it all?
So I think that what you do, okay, here's my theory. Like, if you want, like in high school,
Hmm.
if you wanted to like be popular and be a part of the popular kids, there's two ways to go about it. You can go and be a bottom feeder and manipulate your way up to wherever you're going to exist in the hierarchy. That's one way to go about it. Or you can go and you can build your own coalition of people that you actually like, that you deem as cool, and you build up your own army. And at a certain point, you become the cool kids and the power shifts. Like high school, like the easiest example I can use. It's only 150,000 people that follow Jerry. I know you've got a good following on TikTok, but I have built an art world. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a community. We're somewhat like-minded. There cat fights do break out, but otherwise, like we do think together, we discuss things. It's like it's a kind of open place for people to speak.
I personally don't think it will ever change. And that's my I just don't think it will ever
If
change, but
it's change, it's gonna die. That's the thing. Because at this point, there's not enough uh, buyers to sustain the prices in the market as it's been. So they have to open themselves up to new buyers. And by doing that, they're going to have to like stop clutching their pearls, stop being so judgmental. Maybe the market needs to correct itself and prices need to go back to something that is somewhat attainable. And like power is always shifting, right? That is life. That is human beings. That's why we have wars because power is constantly changing. And the art world has been very averse to it. And it's because it's run mainly by people who are like hyper profiting from it and have no reason to change it. And people, other people who are below them, who come in contact with that kind of wealth and that kind of prestige, they become addicted to that. Even if it's somewhat vicarious, they become addicted to that. There's like an afterglow effect that happens on people where they come in contact with the greatness. And I'm not, you can just imagine the names. I'm not even going to say them. And then suddenly it's like they can even be the ones that are saying, like, oh, I want things to change. I want things to change. But oh my God, it's so cool to be in like the blue chip. I got to fly on a private jet. I got invited to this insane private dinner and I got to sit next to Leonardo DiCaprio and then whatever, like I hang out with Ricky Martin and his husband's an artist, whatever. You can go on and on about the celebrityness of it. I remember going to like Mr. Chow's house in LA and just like he had this massive, I want to say 30-foot by at least 20-foot high, like Dutch, like old master tapestry in his library, but then he also had a huge site Twombly. And it was like the juxtaposition. You felt like you're existing between history and culture, like all the things that kind of do make art cool. But there's a lot of money tied up in that, right? There's a lot of all that. But there is money elsewhere and there is money that could come in, but the art world has been not good at getting the next generations addicted to it. And when prices went fucking crazy during the pandemic and even after 2022, 2023, even a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like in the Fed called it in. They do something called quantitative tightening, where they suck money out of the system
And then,
purposefully. Um,
yes,
yeah, they do that because they don't want inflation to happen.
of course.
And so basically, when the economy had to tighten up, and then that
Not
affects the stock market, that affects everything slowly but surely, even though the people in the art world were like, oh, that will never affect our clients. 2025, here we are. For a myriad of reasons, Russian oligarchs sanctioned. Asia right now, wild inflation. Like, then all of a sudden, people are trying to put things at auction, and auction prices are lower than primary prices. Then people are like, fuck this, I'm going to buy it at an auction, and they're fucking up the primary market. There's this whole domino effect of what is happening right now. Sorry
yeah.
if I'm like, I hope I don't sound like I'm talking down to you about this.
No, not at all.
Like,
I find it really interesting and you very well know what you're talking about, but you had said earlier that the issue is like that the art world hasn't engaged a younger audience. That's what you
no,
said.
yeah, they have
Like, I feel like that's one of the both the great things and the pitfalls of social media because one of the great things is you can really actively engage a younger audience or an audience who doesn't know about art, who didn't grow up learning about art, who didn't grow up valuing understanding art because it's
Yeah, but
very
you know
much
how long the art world like thought like doing good social media was cringe? And they still don't make good social media,
yeah,
really.
agree.
Like there's this guy, he has way more followers than me. His name is Justin Bua, and all he does is go on other people's pages and
Mm,
tear their art apart and make fun of them. And so
that's
then
horrible.
and people watch that. I like the Louisiana channel, honestly, but that's very like PBS-y. It's like very like understated, quiet, quirky. For me, I that's like A24. Like love it. Like it works for me. But I don't think that it's a good advertisement for a mass market. And at this phase, if the art world wants to continue to expand and not recede and become like classical music or something, it has to like hand the reins over to some younger people. It has to also make things like we just talked about this on the podcast with Magnus, but we live in like an a lipstick economy right now.
Like,
Or people are pulling back. They're not going to go to Chanel and buy a handbag right now, but they'll buy a Chanel lipstick. And they feel like they feel like they can touch luxury, but they don't have to go and actually buy the same thing. They'll go to the Prada cafe and get the little cake that says Prada instead of going and buying an outfit from Prada. That's the economy. That's the time we live in. And the art world has not, they're just like not hip to it. I would love hip to it. That's a very old thing to say. But I would love to see like an art dealer crash out. They don't make the last thing that the art world did that like really went viral. Beside, I guess it was like maybe people, maybe that still was just like a thing in the art world that pissed people off. But I think the last thing that anybody outside the art world gave a fuck about was the banana.
the art world doesn't understand the importance of social media. Like the amount of times, like I made a video for Tashin where they reached out to me because I made a few videos about Hockney, and so I made a video with a friend. I had a friend design a dress, which is beautiful. We filmed this whole video. It was really fun to do, and we were happy to do it. We did it for free. They just gifted me the book, which was $250. It got some great views. It was really fun to do, happy to do it. And then a few weeks later, they reached out to me because they published a Dali book, like just like and about his like journey through different European countries. And
Yeah.
the book is like $1,000. And when they reached out to me to promote it, they were like, "We can't gift you the book because the book is too expensive. So you're gonna," and I was like, "How am I supposed to promote a book that I don't even have a tangible copy of?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "We'll send you PDF pictures so you can do a green screen." I was like, "That's gonna not translate. Like, I would not buy a book from someone who's doing a like, that just wouldn't happen. I can give you $100 gift card." And I was like, "I would love a $500 gift card." And they're like, "We can do 150."
But I DM'd Art Basel, like the Art Basel account, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm coming to Paris and I'm gonna be making like a bunch of content. I'd love to collaborate with you guys on whatever you have going on." I'm not making fun of it. I'm not like, I just wanna like create. And it's for me giving me this giving it's like handing me paintbrushes or tools, like to be able to whatever.
Yeah.
And like, of course, no answer. I've emailed so many people at the Art Basel Institution. One of the put downs that like really sent me over the edge was somebody called me an overly ambitious tryhard. And I was like,
That's a compliment. That's a
I was like,
compliment.
in what other industry do people use that as a slam? Somebody yesterday say, I appear to be somebody who has too much time on her hands. And I'm like, if you only know. Working on my Basel body, come on, if you could
Get get
you
it
could touch
together.
my abs right now, if you my obliques, everything is amazing right now.
You're
I'm gonna do something with my reformer Pilates studio, literally make Jerry Gagosian content in it because like A, it's cool, it looks like a nightclub. And B, like I think like every artist needs to work out more because I think that we live in a fucked up time and it's so easy to become like so depressed. And I'm like, we have to exercise. If I don't do anything in a day right now, I'm like, at least I try to work out.
get your ass up and work, as they say.
Yeah. As Kim says too, I do believe this actually. I think a lot of people don't want to work.
Of course.
Like a lot of people don't want to work. Like people are complaining, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, go get a job. It's okay. I started another business. I'm not sharing what it is here just because I don't want to. But like, I've started another business to generate revenue while the art world and the luxury world are in a sort of standstill. And I feel zero shame about it. In fact, it's such a fun job. I love doing. Actually, fuck it. I can tell you what I'm doing.
Tell us.
So the building that I live in it's going to have a sister building that's about to open and 300 families are going to move in or people, individuals, whatever. And I love to curate spaces and I also love to help tweak design to create like really good functionality in space. I'm not doing interior design. I'm also not licensed to interior design, but I'm basically offering uh like how to live to teach people how to live a curated life through like their objects and their belongings and like color and whatever. And it's just a really fun. I wouldn't even call it a job. Like I get paid for it, but like when I have the time to do it and I take on a client, like it's so fun. Like
Well, that's
there's
the ultimate job is something that you get paid for that doesn't feel like it's work.
no, because it like stimulates my brain. Like I actually do looking at a pile of shit and trying to figure out, okay, this goes there. This goes there. Oh, take that back. Wait, put that. I don't know. That is part of my artist brain to want to do that. And so There's about to be 300 people moving in next door. I've already done it for some people in my building now. And in all the move-in packets, I negotiated with the building. They're like putting my one sheeter and my business card in every move-in packet. And they're actually offering it like an additive, like luxury to moving into this development.
Mhm. How did
Uh,
you come up with the idea? Or like, how did you?
um, okay. I had a breast augmentation this summer and I couldn't bend over when I moved into my apartment, right?
Mm.
Fucked up. But I really needed to move into my apartment. I couldn't live with my parents anymore. Not that I love them to death. It's nothing like that. It's just like I'm 40. Like I need my space.
Of course.
So I like moved in, but I'm like laying there looking at chaos, but I couldn't move. I couldn't bend over. So I hired someone to come and help me. And then while she was working on my apartment, I was like, wait, this is such a valuable service because people are people are like coming and going with their lives for a myriad of reasons. One of my new friends is like a senator in Florida, right? And he's like coming and going. He literally needed the service. Like he's constantly in Tallahassee and then whatever. Shout out to Dan Daly. And
Shout out to.
Dan Daly. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I love that name. I love a first and a last name.
Yeah, he's a senator. He's like maybe a year younger than me. It's crazy. He's been a politician since he was 22. But anyway, I digress. It's a really fun job that I don't think actually goes outside of like my art background. And it's you know what? I try to encourage artists and like we need cops that are artists. We need teachers that are artists. We need politicians that are artists. We need like that sense level of sensitivity, that level of creativity, if applicable, please go into another industry because
Of
A,
course.
you'll make money, but B, you can be transformative to the actual world outside of you in a tangible way. If you're
Yeah.
a teacher, you get to reach 30 kids a class times how many periods there are a day. Like you get to change their lives, open their minds, show them cool things. Even if it's micro things, just like how to be a sensitive person, how to be considerate, whatever.
Art just brings a lot of joy and expression. And even if it's not something that's been woven into your life, it's a good outlet for anything. It's
But I think it should be woven into everyone's life. And there is a thickness that I think comes from a level of there's so much our country was like really built by Protestants and Protestants are so ascetic and sort of the opposite of the Catholic Church and very not they're not into beauty. I would say Catholics are way more into beauty than Protestants. I was baptized a Lutheran, like I can attest to this with my family. Like they're not their beauty doesn't hit them. And it hits my mom, but it doesn't hit like my cousins or my grandmother in the same way. And so I just think like having this sensitivity and this desire to make the world more beautiful, like literally, even if it's just aesthetically more beautiful, right? When you
but that can mean different things for different people.
but when you wake up in a beautiful place, you feel something different. You have a different swag about you. You walk different. You have a different level of confidence. You have a different level of comfort. But like when you live in barren slop, which is like what I have seen in some people's apartments, it is depressing. I have given art to some of my clients because I'm like, because we live in the same building. I'm like, it's better than just it sitting in my storage. And I have stuff that I've had for years. I don't believe it's wrong. I'm not even selling it to them. I'm just like, you need this more than I do.
Yeah.
And like, you would be shocked to see what one painting can do to an entire apartment, but also to the psyche of a person.
Of course. I just don't, because I grew up with an artist mom who collected art. I never had a version of a life that didn't involve that. And so it was weird, like, when I went to college, all of my friends in college and my roommate were, like, putting up posters and, like, going to, and I was like, "I will not put up a poster on my wall." Like, I refused in my dorm because I was like, "If it's not gonna be a print or a painting of an artist I really like, I'm not gonna print out a poster."
Be honest, like a lot of people that live in my building are like middle-aged divorced people.
Mhm.
Hi. And so trying to work with some of my clients and help them. And I love them, but oh man, dude, it's so sad. And like they're sleeping in like Costco sheets that like don't match. They have nothing on the wall.
But that's what they're paying you the big bucks to do. You
I
there's a maybe
know.
there's a whole enterprise of middle-aged men that you can tap into to teach them about beauty and art.
It's yeah, it is something I want to do forever. Who
It's
knows?
good for right now.
I
Good
don't
for right now.
know. It is a scalable business if I hire the right people, but it's a great thing to do right now because it's stimulating me and I like doing it
Yeah.
and making friends along the way. And I'm spreading the joy of art. I've given away prints. I've given away some of my art collection. And this is to people that like don't know anything about it. So I have no fear. I'm not like, oh, they're going to go flip this work or whatever. I'm like,
You're
no,
like the Mother Teresa of giving art to people who need it.
yeah, at some point I'm gonna stop and run out, or I'm gonna withhold because I actually do like a lot of my art collection. But yeah, I'm sharing.
If you could own any work, like
And
any one work, like you can't collect art for the rest of your life, but you could own one piece. What would you pick?
it would be obviously for me a Hilma off Clint. It would either be a Titian, like a
Okay.
huge fucking Titian, or it would be a Hilma off Clint painting. I have one tramp stamp from when I was 17. And then when I was in Hawaii, I just got a tattoo on my back that says loving awareness because that's the last thing Ramdas said. I want this drawing on my back. Here, wait,
Oh, I like that.
right?
Yeah.
You ever
Enjoy
get tattoos? You seem like
No,
a tattoo girl.
no, because I'm too indecisive and I get sick of things really quickly. And I just know that I would get one, hate it 3 months, 6 months, a year into it, and really regret it and then have to get rid of it. So,
I don't think you can really get rid of it. It gives you like a weird scar.
right.
It's so
So it's not,
painful.
yeah, I wouldn't do it. But maybe like when I was 92, I would get a tattoo. When I was 92, I will get one.
If I actually live to be old, I'm really gonna go for it, especially with the psychedelics. I don't wanna do, like, street drugs, but, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a lot of psychedelics. I'm gonna take the governor off how many times I do, like, MDMA. Like, I'm just gonna fucking be I wanna be, like, really high
Yeah,
when I'm old.
I support that for you. I'm just going to take it day by day. I have no plans.
Have you ever done drugs?
I, no, never.
I love you. You're so innocent. Should we say goodbye? I feel like
Let's say goodbye.
everyone got properly introduced here, and I feel like I have never been so confessional on this
I
podcast
love it.
before. It's very honest. There's a lot of honesty in the
I don't think it has to be funny all the time.